WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. And today I have a Germany exclusive GlenAllachie 13-year-old Oloroso Wood Finish. Exclusively bottled for Kirsch import Germany, 48%. We have the Whiskybase number 217394. Now, first of all, there's a very interesting fact. On this bottle here, the word sherry is nowhere to be found. Nowhere do they say Oloroso sherry. They say Oloroso Wood Finish. They say over here Oloroso Wood Finish. They say the GlenAllachie Wood Finish series. But they do not say anywhere Oloroso sherry. Now, in my personal opinion, sometimes it's almost as important, sometimes even more important, what is not on the label as compared to what is on the label. So the word sherry does not appear here. What is this? Now, the Spanish government has actually, or the Spanish Association for Sherry has actually now created a new definition of what sherry casks are and can be. And there might be, speculation, there might be some type of connection. Now, on the back of this box, there is actually the words here. The sophisticated mahogany malt, whatever a mahogany malt is, mahogany colored malt would be okay, but mahogany malt obtains its classic vanilla and spice tones from maturation first and second fill American oak barrels before being re-racked into Oloroso sherry puncheons. The secondary maturation period in rich Spanish oak delivers a bold, dark fruit and indulgent chocolate notes. The whiskey was monitored frequently to ensure the achievement of exceptional balance between wood and spirit influence. All right, so this costs over in Germany about 80 to 85 euros. I'm going to say 82. Now, what is very, very interesting for me is last year we had the GlenAllachie 11-year-old 48% Pedro Jimenez Sherry Wood Finish. So the word sherry is actually here still on the label. Here it's not. So this one costs around 65 euros. So we're going to pay 15 euros less for a whiskey that is 2 years younger, but in Pedro Jimenez. So, Pedro Jimenez versus Oloroso. To be very honest, I prefer the 11-year-old Pedro Jimenez a little bit more. So this actually says here, also here, the additional maturation in richly seasoned Pedro Jimenez puncheons add layers of complexity. So, it's interesting that this box does not have the word, well, it has the word sherry here, but the word sherry does not actually appear on the description. So, what am I going to compare it to as well? So this is a picture that is great. This is the 15-year-old GlenAllachie. So here we have a mix of Pedro Jimenez, Oloroso, and a tiny little bit of virgin oak in there. So this is basically mixing this and this and adding a little bit of virgin oak. So I'm going to put this in the middle here. This is 46%, and over here in Germany at the moment, we're paying about 72 euros for this. Now, my personal opinion is no room for the bottle. Oh, we're going to make room for the bottle. Let's just get rid of this real quick and just put this on here. So we have the 11, the 15, and the 13. That looks okay. So my personal opinion is the following. According to the numbers that I have, Billy Walker's taking much more whiskey, many more barrels out of his 16 warehouses than he's putting in. According to the information I have, the production has been reduced by under 70% compared to when Pernod Ricard in 2017 actually sold the distillery to Billy Walker. So they're producing 70% less liquid. Now, according to the information that I had, thank you, Juliet Buchanan, one of the global brand ambassadors for GlenAllachie, probably next year, maybe 2024, but I think next year we'll have the first taste of peated GlenAllachie. that will actually be a single malt Scotch whiskey, peated from GlenAllachie, produced in GlenAllachie under the watchful eye of Billy Walker. Yay! So that's great. But still, this is 13 years of age. It's going to be another 9 years by the time, or 8 years by the time they can have their own stuff this old. This is 15 years. It's going to be another 10 years at least before they have their own juice, and there's going to be a big gap in the production of the whiskey compared to what they have now and what they were producing 15 years ago. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem. But I actually think Billy Walker's not that concerned about it, because in my humble opinion, I think he's going to do the same thing he did with GlenDronach, is he's going to dwindle down the stocks and he's going to sell it off. Yeah, he did not own GlenDronach for very many years. It's like less than 10. And so we're now working here on the 5th year of GlenAllachie. And I could imagine that within the next 4 to 5 years that he's going to sell GlenAllachie to someone else. Don't forget, Billy Walker's not a young man anymore. He has to have an exit strategy. I don't know if he's going to inherit it to his son. Or does his investors want to have a cash out as well? So the question that I have in my back of my head is, who's going to buy GlenAllachie? Wouldn't it just fit perfectly in the Brown-Forman portfolio after they took over Glenglassaugh, Benriach, on GlenDronach? Then we would have GlenAllachie as well. I think that would be an interesting speculation about the future. All right, so let's nose. Oh, first of all, let's take a look at the colors. So for me, the darkest is basically the 15-year-old. The lightest is going to be our 13-year-old. The 11-year-old with Pedro Jimenez is actually a tiny bit lighter, but it's just nuances, all right? Very little. 48, 46, right, 48, 46. 72, 65, 82. So that price increase, of course, is inflation, 10% at the moment per year. So we take 65, we add another 10%, we're up to 72. 80, and we add another 10% inflation. Oh, now we have that. So we have 20% difference between the 11 and the 13-year-old, between the Pedro Jimenez and the Oloroso Wood. All right, that's the way things are at the moment, I guess. Now on the nose, I get a little bit of a pine pitch a little bit here. But it is dark. There is leather. There's a little bit of tobacco. There is some walnut going on here. Some milk chocolate. Not bad. The Pedro Jimenez, much more of a raisiny moment. On the nose, I prefer the Pedro Jimenez compared to the Oloroso. Now, I've had Oloroso sherry. I've had a lot of different Oloroso sherry finished whiskeys in my life. This has a little bit of a twist to it. It's not actually the standard Oloroso I know. Is it because of the distillate spirit character coming through and intermingling with the Oloroso, or is there another reason behind that? I can't say. All I can say is I like the 15-year-old. That 15-year-old is actually, in my book, something I thoroughly enjoy. So there's that. Where did I put that? Oh, it fell down over here. So that 15-year-old GlenAllachie 15 is something I can highly recommend. If you can find it for a good price, go for it. Now this, the 13-year-old, I think I mentioned it, I'm going to mention it again, is a Germany exclusive. 3 things we don't know about this. Well, let's say 2 things. First of all, we don't know how many bottles we had. Is it a 1,000 bottle release? Is it a 3,000? Is it a 30,000 for Germany? I don't know. And the second thing I don't know either is how long was the finish? It said it was in first and second fill American oak casks. That's actually an interesting word. First and second fill American oak. So what is a first fill American oak? Is that virgin oak? Is that first fill bourbon casks? Is that first fill distillery casks? So first and second fill American oak. If I take it literally, the first time spirit touched the wood, it would mean it's not a bourbon cask. I really don't think GlenAllachie, before Billy Walker took it over, was filling spirit into any type of virgin oak casks. So even that form, that way of presenting what this is for me not clear. All right, so let's taste 48, 48, 46. Cheers. The whole time it's almost like that tipping point of going over, but it kind of slides by. There is chocolate here. There is a little bit of acidity. There is leather. There is tobacco. There are dried fruits. It could be even like a fig fruit going on here. A lot of oak. This is a C plus B minus whiskey in my book. This is something I like. I like this a little bit better. I like this a little bit even better. Good whiskey. Value for money, 80 euros, 82 euros. At the moment, at the climate that we're in and the bottles that are available in the market, this is actually almost a C whiskey, which means you can buy it if you want. All right, A, why haven't you bought it? B, buy it. C, you can buy it if you want to. D, you don't need to buy it. And F, why was the stuff you made? All right, but this is actually very, very enjoyable whiskey. So, according to the official tasting notes, I could be getting a lot of aroma of cinnamon. I can actually read here. That's on the package here. Bursting with cinnamon, heather honey. I did get a honey in my first German video. And toasted coffee beans. I don't get the coffee beans, but that's me. With dried sultanins, mocha, and coconut shavings. I don't get the shavings at all. That's all in the nose. On the taste, we have lashing of trickle. That's this molasses type of moment. Figs and brittle toffee, followed by heather honey, cinnamon, and crystallized ginger. All right, very, very good. I've had crystallized ginger before, and I don't get that here. Now, to be very honest, if I go over to the 11-year-old, I do prefer the Pedro Jimenez more. This is still available. It's been on the market for over a year. This is available in Germany and Europe. This is a Germany exclusive. I think half of the reason behind me liking this more is I like the Pedro Jimenez better than I do Oloroso. There's that raisiny type of milk chocolate moment that I can actually get behind here. All right, so this bottle is Whiskybase number 192597, if you want to know. And there's a lot more of a dark berry, a raisin, nice little chocolate moment going on here. Fruits, very, very good. All right, but if it was up to me, and only up to me, if I could choose one of these bottles, if I had 70, 80 euros left over, and I said, hey, 65, sorry, no, I want to buy one, it's going to be the 15-year-old GlenAllachie. So we've had this in blind tastings. Either the 12-year-old Caledonia from Edredauer or the 15-year-old GlenAllachie wins almost every single time. The best of both worlds with a little bit of virgin oak thrown in there. Wow. Nice. 46%, absolutely great. Non-chilled filtered, no color added, absolute wonderful, fabulous mouthfeel. Very, very good. Now, The 15-year-old, I don't think Billy Walker has enough stocks for the next 5, 10. I don't think he has enough for the 10 years he needs, actually, until he gets his own stuff out there. He's selling many, many more bottles than casks he's filling. So the 15-year-old is going to get rarer and rarer. And actually, a 15-year-old whiskey for 72 euros or 76, I can buy it for 69 euros over here, 90, is a fabulous, fabulous price at the moment. So if you haven't bought a GlenAllachie or two and you like it, please do. I don't think it's going to get any cheaper. All right, the last one, we're going back here to our bottle that we're talking about, the 13-year-old with Oloroso. If anyone has any information why the word sherry is not on the bottle, I would be interested. Please tell me. So my question today is, when will Billy Walker sell GlenAllachie and on whom? My next question is, why isn't the word sherry on the bottle anywhere? Was it a marketing mistake, or was it actually a omission of on purpose? And my third question is, GlenAllachie is basically all over the world, from Australia to America, from Japan to Ireland, Iceland, all over Europe. What is your favorite GlenAllachie that you've had? The 15-year-old actually could and should be my favorite of all the ones I've ever had. That pine pitch, that pine sap moment really gets me every single time. And I am just not a great, great fan of this. It's not bad, but it's definitely not wow. One, two, three. Personal opinion. So 3. WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, off tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, telling others, and sharing. All the best. See you soon. Bye-bye.